And Australian legal experts have joined a global hunt for evidence of Russian war crimes committed in Ukraine to present to the International Criminal Court. The 10 experts are interviewing over 2,000 refugees who've arrived in Australia about what they had seen and are gathering physical evidence of the atrocities too. Joining me live is one of those experts, Melbourne lawyer William Lye. Thanks so much for your time, William. So how does this process work and what are you doing already?
Well, thank you, Laura, for having me to your program. We are formulating a framework of questions that we can then roll out on an online platform in order to then identify the potential victims and witnesses to the atrocities that's happening in Ukraine. Now, there are, as you say, over 2,000 Ukrainians have come here, and the priority is to settle them in Australia, and then to, through the process, involve and put in place by the Australian Federation of Ukrainian Organizations to assist them with information that they can provide to us so that we can then assist in identifying those potential victims and witnesses to see whether they can provide information that will be very useful to the prosecutor investigations.
How much faith do you have, William, that Vladimir Putin and his regime will ever be held to account for these crimes?
Well, that's a question that the ICC prosecutor is looking at. It is currently investigating on ground. So the prosecutor office and team are on ground collecting evidence, working with the Ukrainian government in order to document those war crimes, those atrocities. Now, the evidence is overwhelming, and just as your program has depicted the latest bombing and the latest atrocities. So the difficulty, of course, is that this will take time. We're in 8 weeks into the war, and Crimea happened 8 years ago, and it has now merged into this current investigation. So at the moment, what is critical is being able to collect the information on the ground, document it, look for witnesses who have direct evidence as to what has happened, whether they are victims or in fact being able to then document those things for some time later into the future. It is going to be a long process. It is going to be protracted, but it will be carefully done.
Is it made even more complicated by the fact that the United States doesn't even recognise the ICC?
Well, the United States is not part of the Rome Statute. The Rome Statute is the statute that establishes the International Criminal Court, and it was established in 2002, following on from what's happened in the Nuremberg Court and also the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia. The ICC is, as I've said, a creature of that statute, and Russia and Ukraine are also not party to it, Russia having pulled out of the Rome Statute in 2016. So it is difficult. However, Ukraine has agreed to submit to the jurisdiction of the ICC. In other words, the ICC, through the referral by 41 countries, is able to investigate and prosecute ultimately those crimes committed pursuant to the Rome Statute. Now, there are only 4 crimes that they are looking at, crimes that are most serious in nature and of international concern. It's genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes of aggression. Unfortunately, the last crime of aggression, the ICC does not have jurisdiction to try those matters.
All right, William, well, please keep in touch. It is going to be a long process. We'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you very much, Laura.